as Michelle will show you, as you get relationships with people and you're asking these questions and you're getting into the private message and the question tree that she'll talk about, what you're going to really want to do to connect is see if you can get on the phone with them. That's really the best way to create a relationship. Or Zoom. You know, Zoom is this free up to 40 minutes, and it's a great way to connect. So you can actually see people's faces and share screens and show them things on Zoom. And so it takes away all the boundaries of, like, my wonderful friend Susan there is in Maryland, and she's joining us, and here we are in Washington. So, I mean, gosh, you know what, we couldn't ask for more other than having her sweet body right here in the room. And so we're excited about, you know, just connecting. But as time has gone by, what I have noticed is less and less, you know, person-to-person meetings and more Facebook people telling, hey, boom, and I'm guilty of the same thing. Hey, special. Hey, that's special. This announcement, that announcement. But am I really connecting? And even in some other, like in the last couple of years, there's been this wave of events on Facebook, doing home parties on Facebook and home events on Facebook. And at first it was really effective, and now it's becoming saturated. And so people aren't paying attention again. And so what we need to do is get back into a relationship piece with people. And we need to get in the room with them or on the phone with them so they can hear your voice, or, you know, on Zoom. And so with that in mind, we're going to talk about this piece that a lot of us are using, the Facebook piece. So Twitter, you know, you can use this technique for Twitter. Instagram's a little harder unless you posted it in a picture. But on Facebook, you know, a lot of people are using Facebook of all ages. So it's a really good place to communicate and ask questions. And now Michelle helps lots of people in lots of different types of sales. And so she has a background in that. And I don't know if you haven't met her before, she's wonderful. We trust her. She loves Advocare. She loves our distributors. And you can, what she's going to teach you is authentic, and it will help your business to explode. And so knowing that a lot of us use Facebook for communication, we just thought this would be a great way to, you know, start off the new year, because there's going to be a lot of information on Facebook, and you want to try to connect with a few people. Otherwise, you'll post, and no one will respond because they're overwhelmed with all the information. Okay, so Michelle, would you like to take it from here?
Yes, awesome. Thank you. So I am super excited to be here. I started in direct sales 15 years ago, and I was definitely of the exact same belief and understanding and learned how to use the phone like Jeanette. I was absolutely positively trained. You make 400% more if you get over the fear of being on the phone. Okay. So I learned really, really, really good skills for being on the phone, and could double my sales per person, and really did amazing things with my business and had a really good time and learned to love to be on the phone. Okay. So that is something that I absolutely positively believe in. The interesting thing is, people of a certain generation, honestly, if they're kind of like 35 or under, they really see texting the same as they see the phone. They think it's just as personal, which is frustrating when you understand how much better the phone is. But you can close deals on messaging and on texting. It's crazy. I cannot believe how they trust you. They'll send a credit card over it, which they shouldn't, but they do. It's nuts, okay? Like, they really just see it as the phone. And when you learn a couple little tweaks and techniques on that, oh my gosh, the amazing things you can do. But where we're going to very, very first start is we're going to just start with social media and a little bit of how to get people to start talking with you a little bit more. And it's really, really fun, okay? And then I'm going to teach you, like, after you get their attention and you get them to respond, then where does the conversation go? And we'll add some, like, texting and messaging techniques in there, okay? And first of all, I also want to apologize, Jeanette. We had this whole system set up to email you, and it failed me this morning because there's one button I hadn't pushed. So I'm really sorry. It's been working really well. And this one class just went funky with joys of technology. Okay. So
Is recording, right?
So
It is recording though. It's
yes,
recording.
We're recording. We're totally recording. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to be doing some screen share. I don't think Luke's on here. You guys know Luke Boyce? He's up in the Wenatchee area. And I was scrolling through my Facebook feed last night, and I noticed one of Luke's questions. He put one on that I suggested in Jeanette's group. I'm like, holy cow, he's got 25 comments. So I wanted to go with his and kind of give you some ideas of what to do with that. Now there is like this huge broad range of questions you can use on social media. And there's a couple little tips. First of all, there's like this urge, okay? Like it's so hard to put pictures and websites and try to tell them. Some people try to make this question like, here's the question, but what I'm really trying to do is sell to you right now in this question. And all we're trying to do with this question is just to find people who might need our product. And 50% of them will turn into friends. Well, actually 100% of them will turn into better friends. And about 50% of them will turn into customers. But what it does is it gives you a place to know who to start talking to. Who here has over 500 friends on Facebook? Anyone who has over 500? Okay. Who has over 1,000 friends on Facebook? Over 1,000? Okay. So you're looking at those numbers and you're like, who in the heck do I start talking to? Yes, I know most people need more energy. Yes, I know most people, we all know that there's a high percentage of people that are obese in the US. Yes, I know, my product's needed, but just throwing darts out there and hoping to hit something and sending tons of messages, not knowing who to talk to, that is a huge waste of time. And you don't have to do that. People will kind of raise their hands and say, okay, Jeanette, I'm kind of curious what you do, by the way that we put these questions out there. So it's incredibly fun. It's really, really fun. Okay. So let me show you a little example, and we'll talk about a couple different types of questions. So I'm going to do a share screen here and show you Luke's Facebook page. That was okay. I mean, I assume he put it out there for everyone to see, so it's not something that's already out there. So can you guys see a Facebook page and see Luke Boyce on here? Is that what everybody sees? Yeah? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Here, let me make it just a little bit bigger. Whoops. Okay, so I suggested a couple different questions on Jeanette's feed yesterday. How many of you took those questions and used them? Give me a shout out if you're, Ashley, you did? I didn't see which question you posted. Okay, so here he put this really simple one. What is your favorite beverage of choice when trying to keep up your energy or stay awake? Okay, now I know it's incredibly tempting to want to go, we got a really cool drink that you might want if you're doing, if you have a beverage that you're trying to, down when you're trying to stay awake at 3 in the afternoon. Okay, but seriously, you just need to post this. Now let me tell you a little funny thing. I'm going to teach you how to start a conversation with what people have said here. Okay, but the thing that sometimes I get from people is if I start a conversation and then I get into a conversation about Spark, aren't they going to know that I was trying, aren't they going to feel like I'm really salesy? Well, this is the really, really interesting thing about this, okay? I'm friends with Luke, and I know on his page, well, you can see right here, okay? You can just scroll down, and you can see there's all sorts of stuff here about Advocare and Spark and all sorts of stuff, okay? It's not as if they didn't know he sold it, okay? And I remember he had some really cool pictures this summer with the fires up in Wenatchee. I still remember this fighter, and he had like cans of Sparks on his on his arms. It was really cute. Anyway, it's not like people don't know he's a Spark lover. Okay, so let me tell you what this means. When there's something you've been talking about and you didn't necessarily get a lot of comments, maybe a couple likes, not a lot of interaction, and then you put this really simple question out here, no picture, no websites, just inquiry. 90% of these people are going, okay, I know you sell that crazy spark stuff. I'm sort of curious. It's like they're kind of raising their hand saying, it's okay to talk to me about this. And we've been testing this. I work with a lot of gals that do makeup, and this one company has this foundation, and they all have done these crazy videos to show how well it covers up tattoos and broation, all sorts of stuff, okay? And so they've been putting all these videos out there. And then one day we just put the question, on a scale of 1 to 10, how important is foundation to you? And all these people started saying 10, 8, you know, some said 0 just to be obstinate, which is fine. But all of a sudden people started talking about it. It wasn't like they didn't know the gal sold makeup. It's not a shocker, okay? They know he sells a drink that helps with energy. And so this is their little way of signaling to you that, hey, okay, you can talk to me about this now. Okay, isn't that cool? It's like really, really cool. And that's why it's so important. Don't put pictures, don't put websites, don't try to tell them you have a solution. You truly have to be curious, okay? You really, really have to be curious. And I know, like, you're all trained. Everyone that sells is trained. Like, where's that open door that I can start talking about my product? But if you will step back and learn to retrain your mind and your heart to be truly curious and just be really good friends and know about half of them will turn into customers, it will explode things. So look at this. He has 22, 23, 24, 25. He has one more response since last night. So he's 26. Now, I'm going to tell you, look, we can go through all his Advocare things. No like, no comment. Okay. Where's another one? There were some up here. Here's a before and after. There's 3 responses and a couple likes. Go up here. Here's another before and after. 9 people liked it, no comments. Here's 7 likes on the Advocare one, no comments. Okay. So it's okay to put the Advocare stuff out there, okay? Because they need to know what you do. But this, the questions, are where you find out who's willing to talk to you about it. Does this make sense? Okay. I'm not saying don't post Advocare things. I think that's kind of a lot in one day personally. That whatever, it's up to him, okay? But this, if he were to close half of these, 26, if he were to close 13 deals from this one set of comments, who of you would be like crazy excited? Okay, I would say he has 1 advisor and 3 distributors here. That's my educated guess. Okay, if you were to go through and take the time to respond to these people and ask them why they drink what they drink, and we're going to go into that, what you say after this. Okay, so I'm going to stop this for just a second. How many of you kind of see the power of this question when you see the difference in the responses you get just by posting Advocare stuff and the difference in asking a question where you're truly curious? Is anybody like starting to have kind of like, oh my gosh, like how cool is that? Like, are you kind of starting to get it? Like the power this has? This is amazing power to qualify, because Luke has, let me see if it'll show me how many friends he has. It shows me mutual friends. Sometimes it's hidden. 2,400 friends. Where in the heck is he supposed to start with 2,400 people? But they just told him, 26 people just told him, we're the people to start talking to. Okay, does that make sense? Because you look at your friends list and go, there has to be someone on here who needs Advocare. How do I figure out who it is? Do I just message every person? Who has got the message in your inbox? Hi, I sell this. This is the website. This is how you can get it for a discount. This is how you can get it now. And this is how you can sign up. And it's all in one message. Who's got that? Who's seen it? Did you respond to it and go buy a whole bunch? No, they don't work. But that's what they do, because they're like, I don't know how to figure out who wants my stuff. Well, guess what? There is actually a way. And I just showed you how. Okay. So let's first talk about a couple different types of questions you can use. All right. So I have found that when the question can be answered with one symbol or one word, okay, a symbol meaning a letter or a number, you get the most interaction. They like it when it's really simple. Especially, did you know it's high. I think it's like 70% of Facebook interaction is on a phone. So if they've got to type out a long sentence, okay, they're not going to do it. But if they can push A6 or that one word Pepsi or whatever their drink of choice was, okay, they're much more likely to respond. So that's the first thing is you got to keep the questions really simple and easy to answer. All right, so a couple different ones I gave you were things like multiple choice. Okay, what happens in the winter when you're trying to exercise? Do you exercise, do you just bundle up? Do you exercise indoors, or does your exercising go down? Okay, and you would like do it A, B, C, or 1, 2, 3. You got to give them the little numbers or letters, then they just go below and they put A, B, C. Okay, the other one that's one of my favorite, okay, is on a scale of 1 to 10. Now, the fun thing about this one is, depending on the question, if you said on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you enjoy exercise? The cool thing about that question is it doesn't matter if it's 0 or if it's 10, you have helpful tools, helpful products for both types of people. Does that make sense? Okay. So let me tell you what happens when you ask a yes/no question. You either get likes for yes, and you get nothing for no's, and you have no idea who the people are that said no. Okay? Yes/no questions get you nowhere. Do not ask them. They're a waste of time. They just fill up your Facebook feed, and they don't tell you much. Okay? They won't even write yes. They'll hit like, and you're not really sure if that meant like or they just liked your question. Okay? They have to be multiple choice, open-ended, or scale of 1 to 10. And huge things happen, okay? Now, it can even be something like, imagine this kind of question. We're just trying to qualify people who need your product, okay? You can even ask a question like, hey, I'm curious, what is your favorite fitness website? Or what is your favorite website for getting healthy recipes? What is your favorite health magazine? So based on what they say, you know, someone's being health conscious, they might want your product, okay? These questions aren't on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad do you want to try Spark? You don't mention your product, you don't mention your company, okay? Because as soon as you say that, people's sales walls goes up. You leave those words out of the dialogue, okay? It's really, really critical. This is something I learned when I was doing really good, effective phone calling. You don't say the name of companies, okay? You refer to what you were talking about. You refer to the issue that, you know, when you met them at Target or you got messaging them on Facebook or whatever it is, you talk about what was important to them. That's how you remind them who you are. But actually, you should leave out Advocare, Spark, words that are product-based, okay? They are much more likely to respond to you. Okay, so who's had an aha moment? Who's like getting excited? Okay, it is so fun what you can do when you start asking these questions. It's really amazing. Okay, so remember, scale of 1 to 10, multiple choice, open-ended questions. Those are the kind of things that you need. Okay, you can play things off the holidays, like Jeanette and I were asking ones about what's your biggest temptation in the holidays? What makes it hard to keep your weight down? What's the thing you always are wanting to eat? Things about exercise when it's winter. There's lots of ways you can take the exact same question and kind of twist it based on holidays, seasons, all sorts of stuff like that. Now, with New Year's right now, oh my gosh, okay, there's so many fun ways you can phrase a goal question, a health question, an exercise, what are you doing this year, to just find out who is thinking about that as a New Year's resolution. Okay, this is an amazing time of year for you guys to be doing this. Okay, so let me tell you something. Everybody has something to write on, right? Because I'm going to tell you exactly what to say when you've got these responses. And I'm going to go back to the share screen, okay? All right. Okay, so we're looking at these answers. We have coffee, lots of coffee. Someone's a spark lover already. A protein-based smoothie, watermelon spark, apple juice, honey. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so we have all these different kinds of responses, all right? Now, listen very carefully. I get asked this like 16,000 times. It's really funny. No matter how many times I answer it, I always end up answering it 6 more times. No matter what they put here, we want to just hit the reply button. Okay, you see the reply button? Hit the reply, and we're going to put a response here to everyone. Okay, the reply is one of 3 things. All you want to do is show that you relate. And a way you relate is either saying, I get it, I have that same problem, or complimenting them, wow, look at that healthy option that you chose. Or, let's see, relate, compliment, or empathize. Oh, I totally get it. I crash, my energy crashes at 3 p.m. too, or whatever they said. Okay, so your 3 different options are to relate, compliment, or empathize. And that's all you do. You put that right here, okay, and you reply to every single response that you get. Okay, everybody got that? Step number 1. Well, 2, after you posted the question. Step number 2, you're going to reply with some sort of relate. I understand. You give them a compliment, or I have that problem too. You empathize, okay? Those are your 3 options. Now, I'm not friends with any of these people. If I was, I'd hit Mr. Joshua here, and I'd be like, hit a message, and I'd be like, tell me more about what honey is, okay? And we go to a private message, because we don't want to have like 16 little comments going on underneath that feed and everybody reading them, okay? So 1 reply, then we hit a private message, and we're going to ask them a question, okay? So let me go back and see what other ones he had here and give you some ideas. So there was coffee, okay? You could ask a simple question like, hey, I'm curious, what's your favorite kind of coffee? Or how many cups of coffee do you go through a day? Or what times a day do you usually drink coffee? Or what does coffee do to you that you like or don't like, okay? All we're trying to do is get them to open up and help us better understand. Where'd the questions go? New Year's resolutions. It doesn't really matter at this point. Okay. We're just trying to find out more about the choice that they currently make. All right. It could be, if you're talking about New Year's resolutions, he has one here on New Year's resolutions. Pray more and listen. Okay. He could go to a message and go, oh my gosh, I think that's amazing. You're going to pray more. Is there something specific you're praying more about? Okay. He's a God-fearing man. That would be a totally normal conversation for him to have and ask. Okay. Less stress, more calm, refresh moments, see my brother more, healthy eating continues. Okay. So he could message this gal, Kelly, I think it's a gal, Kelly, and say, less stress and calm, refresh moments. Hey, what is your game plan? How are you going to do that? That's something I need to do too. All right. And he can just start a conversation, and the whole thing is just to show interest in them. Okay. This is really important, because what I found is when I started teaching this, I knew this in the back of my head to have a little bit more of a conversation. But what people were doing, like on that one with all the, what's your favorite beverage? Why can't I find it? Where did it go? Oh, it was up here.
It's up higher.
Is it up higher? Okay.
Yeah, it's going up.
Oh, there it is. Okay. Is that my people would, like my makeup people, okay, I'd say, tell, if you're running out the door, what's the one makeup you can't leave the house without? And they'd say mascara. And the gals would go, oh my gosh, have you tried ours? Here's the website. And they would just jump right on it, okay? Like, think about how you would feel if somebody jumped right on top of you like that, okay? So we're trying to build that relationship. Just like Jeanette talked about with those phone calls, this can build relationships before you go into any sales pitch. And the really cool thing is, you're not going to go into any sales pitch unless you find out something that they need, and I'm going to show you how to find that out, okay? So it would be really tempting, these coffee people, to go, oh, honey, really, coffee? can I bring you a sample of something else to try? We have this really cool thing called Spark. We have all these different flavors, and I can bring some to your office, and how many friends are there? And I could bring that to, like, it would be so easy to go into that, like, hyper, sell bomb mode, okay? It's really tempting because that's kind of how we're trained a lot of times in sales, not advocate or anybody specific, just it's kind of what's done to us, okay? It's a lot of times what's done to us when we go to buy a car or somebody's excited about something they're selling. It's just a normal thing to do. But if you slow down and you find out a little bit more about them, why they're drinking coffee, why, I don't know what this honey thing is. I think that's kind of funny. That's got to be something interesting, okay? When you stop and find out a little bit more about them, they are so much more likely to listen to you. Does that make sense? When was the last time you had someone who just really listened to you? Then when they had an idea or some advice to share, you were much more likely to listen to what they had to say. So that's all you're practicing. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, all right. So what I'm going to show you is this thing called the question tree. So I'm going to teach you what to do when we get into a private message, how to blossom this conversation, because it's really, really, really cool, okay? Because you can end up going from just an interest in Spark to selling them a whole program, depending on what their needs are, okay? All right, so let me screen share this other one here. Okay, do you guys all see this thing called the question tree? Can you see this? Now, the funny thing about the question tree is you start at the bottom. I know, most everything else in our life, we start at the top. So we're going to start down here at the bottom, and we've already kind of done some of this. This right here is planting the seed. This is asking that question on Facebook, okay? The roots are getting to know them a little. Well, the trunk, this one we go back and forth to, the trunk. As we're talking about, like when we ask how many cups of coffee do you have or why do you choose coffee, we again relate and say something like that when they respond. So this trunk is the relating part, and we go back and forth to this. The roots is getting to know them a little bit better and really understanding what it is that they need. So as you're talking about coffee, they tell Luke all about why they love coffee, what kind they drink, how many cups they drink during the day. This is the bridge. Okay, is everybody ready for this? So I told you I always have to repeat that there's the reply comment once, and then you move to a private message, okay? The next thing that's really important that everybody forgets, but if you remember this, you will love it, okay? So you've got to know a little bit more about why they drink coffee, or why a little bit more about their goals, or whatever it is you asked about, and you can see that, I wonder if they'd like to know a little bit more about Spark. And you find out they, have to have coffee in the morning to get going. They have it at 3 in the afternoon to keep their energy going, and all those kind of things. You find these things out. This is the root question that bridges all this. And it's so important because you see this done, you have it done to yourself, and sometimes we've all been guilty of doing it. We're so excited and we want to tell them about Spark. But this is how you bridge it, and it makes it softer, and they will be much more receptive. You simply ask permission. And I'm wondering if I could tell you about a product that I've been working with, and it really has seemed to help people who have a similar situation to you. Okay? So I don't care how much you love it and how wonderful it is. You don't say it's worked for me. Because there's something funny about feeling like it's a referral and somebody else using it and having success. You say somebody else has had the success, not you. Okay? And so it's that ask permission. May I tell you about something that a lot of other people who have your same situation have found that they've liked and it's been worked well for them? When you ask that permission, instead of just jumping in, like waiting for that door to crack open and go, I wonder if I can talk about Spark now. Is it now? Should I do it now? Okay. You don't have to do that. You just ask permission. Could I share with you a little bit about this product? And it's amazing what happens. Now, some people are like, yeah, absolutely. And other people are like, sure, okay. And they'll be a little standoffish. It's okay. Because they said yes, they'll still stay engaged and keep talking to you. If anybody has used text and messaging much for your interactions with customers or potential customers, you'll sometimes find the conversation will come to a dead halt and you have no idea why. Part of it is because you started talking and you didn't ask permission first. When you ask permission, they kind of are committed to staying with you and continuing through the conversation, and you're less likely to lose them. Okay? So ask permission, and then you tell them a little bit about the product. Well, this is what it does. This is why it's benefited people. These are the flavors. Hey, tell me, how do you see this working for you based on, the fact that you've been using coffee? Could I bring a couple samples and see if you feel like it works as well or better for you? And it's always that permission, asking that permission. And it's so cool. It bridges gaps. It makes people feel heard. They don't feel like you're, being a pushy salesperson. You feel more authentic. It's literally a win, 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 win. Okay? So there's a couple of things that are important to know when you're sending these messages. The first thing is, with every message that you send, it needs to be, if you're texting, you should try really hard to make it short enough that it only fits in one little message bubble, 2 at the max. If you send a big long one that goes through several bubbles, a lot of times they, get mixed around, they don't stay in order. People won't read it all. Okay, so keep it short. The other thing is that you want to put in there is always end with a question. I can tell you, if you've ever had a conversation via Messenger or a texting and it stops, go back and look at the last thing you said. 90% of the time it was a statement that ended with a period instead of a question. When you ask a question, it propels people to want to respond. It's really amazing how it works. And you can even try it out. If you do this on Facebook, like let's say somebody says, well, how does it, let's see, what would be a good, tell me a little bit about how well it works. Does it work for somebody, in the 3 p.m. when you want to take that nap? I don't know. Let's just say they asked that. And you said, yeah, it does. It works really well for that. A lot of people have found it's a great pick-me-up and they have energy through the rest of the day. Stop. Okay. Hit send. Wait 2 minutes. And then if you notice on Messenger, there's those 3 little dots that start to run. Okay. When they start typing. Now text, hey, I'm curious. Which of these flavors would you want to try? Watermelon, whatever your flavors are. Or tell me a little bit about, on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad does your energy crash at 3 p.m.? Or something. You ask another question, count 1, 2, 3, and all of a sudden the dots will start going. Okay? It doesn't happen when you make a statement, but it does when you hit a question mark because they feel propelled to keep talking to you and to respond. It seriously is the funniest thing ever. You can't see that when you're text messaging. There's not that kind of like little symbol, but it's hysterical. Like I test it out all the time just to make sure I'm still right. And it still works. Like you hit the question and all of a sudden count 1, 2, 3, you start seeing them type again. Okay. That's what keeps the conversation going, are those questions. So let me show you a series of questions that's going to help you take that from just the conversation of Spark. How many of you have started a conversation about Spark and then wondered how to introduce a couple more products? Has anybody had that happen? Like, okay, I've talked about Spark, I've talked about a couple things, I bet there's other products they need, but I'm not sure where to go with that. Okay, everybody had that happen? Okay, let me show you how you do this. So in my little question tree here, this is what's so cool about it, is we divide your product into 3 to 4, 5 categories, okay? So you've got things like, and Jeanette, you can call them something different if you want to like rephrase it how I'm saying it, but something about energy, health, weight loss, sports management, okay? Would you add a category in there? Would everything that you carry pretty much fit in one of those 4 areas? Can you think of anything else?
Maybe just sleep.
Yeah, see, sleep I'd probably put in just overall health.
Yeah.
But you can throw that in as a 5th one if you want. So the whole idea is we say, so we've talked about Spark. You're going to bring grape and fruit punch for them to try. This is where we bring that permission question back in again. You can say, hey, you know what? Since we're chatting, could I ask you a couple quick questions about other areas of your health? And then they're curious. They're like, what is Jeanette going to ask me about? Okay. So even though it might feel kind of private, they're curious now, they'll tell you yes, 90% of the time. Somebody will be weird and tell you no, but not usually if you've been really friendly. Hardly anyone says no. You may have that one strange person. Okay. So then we go into these 4 areas. And we go, well, I'm just curious. If in 30 days from now you had a little bit better health in one area of your life, what would that be? What would you love to improve in your health in the next 30 days? So, and if they seem kind of stumped, you can say, is there any medication you've wondered if you could get off? Is there anything, you know, on a scale of 1 to 10, how happy are you with your current weight? There's all these questions, and usually they'll answer you, but if they seem kind of stumped, and it's okay if there's a pregnant pause. Give them time to think about it. Don't feel like you have to talk. It's kind of an American thing to not like silence, but give them a minute to think about it and just see what it is that they have in their life that they might like to change. And I promise you, listen to this very carefully. You may know the person very well, or it might be a family member or something like that. And you may think, I know they're on blood pressure medication, or you can see they need to lose 40 pounds, or there's something to you that's pretty obvious. I am telling you, about 30 to 50% of the time, they will say something you weren't expecting. You'll find out there's something they're really concerned about that you didn't realize they were, or something that's a bigger priority than you would have maybe prioritized. Really, the biggest test of knowing if you're doing this well is if you found out something new that you didn't know about them before. Okay? It's really amazing what you can do. You may find out that they're really concerned because their father and their grandfather had died of cancer, and they're wondering how they can prevent that, or from heart disease, or I don't know. You just never know what it'll be. I'm always surprised what I learn about people when I really slow down and just be curious instead of always just looking for a door to talk about my product. Okay? You will sell more when you do it this way, and quit trying to lead the conversation thinking, oh, I got to get them into a 24-day challenge, or I got to get them into this product or this product. Listen. Now, Lonnie, she was so sweet. She was telling me how she had kind of an idea in her head what products this one gal needed, and even had an idea in her head how much she could afford. And she thought for sure she'd need the 24-day challenge and one other product, and that would be about it. She sat down with her and decided to just really ask questions, really get to know her. For some reason, I can't remember what the reason was. For some reason, the 24-day challenge or the cleanse itself wasn't quite or detox, whatever it's called, sorry, wasn't quite the right product for her. But she ended up buying $500 in product, okay? It wasn't that there weren't products for her. It's just for some reason that one that you lead with wasn't the perfect fit. And when you listen, you will get them the right products, and usually more than you expected you would sell. But it's not always your leading products. It may not be Spark. It may not be the 24-day challenge. But it doesn't mean you don't have something they need. So it's really important to ask these questions. So you can ask them about their health. Ask them a little bit about what they do for physical fitness, what they would like to be doing if they're not doing what they want to right now, what makes it hard, what is the thing that they'd love to be doing, and it's just such a struggle to do. So you dig, you find out about these areas of their life. Let's see. So energy, you probably talked about Spark already, or may not have led with that one. So if you were talking about their one health goal, you're then going to talk about their energy in there somewhere. You just make sure you go over all 4 areas, and you simply just ask a big broad question. Hey, tell me a little bit about X. Tell me a little bit about your physical fitness. What kind of exercises do you like? What do you do? What would you like to be doing more of? You just get to know them, and you should see what happens. All of a sudden, and you kind of make a list as they're going, okay? You wait till you get to know everything about them. And then again, you ask permission, okay? May I tell you about a couple of products that I think would help you with XYZ, things that they have mentioned. And so the branches are the 4 areas. Your twigs are, tell me a little bit more about the exercise you do, what you'd like to be doing, what makes it hard, what are your favorite things? Do you go to a gym? Do you like to do it in a group or by yourself? Okay, those are the twigs. And then the leaves are your optional clothes. This is where you say you might like this product or this product, or maybe you're going to introduce them to the whole 24-day challenge, or maybe there's a whole nother system you're going to introduce them to. The optional clothes are usually either here's a couple products or here's a whole kit system, whatever you want to call it, and you give them those 2 different options instead of do you want to do it, and boom, you start selling a lot more to more people that you talk to and more product per person. Okay, this system works amazingly. And what's really cool about it is because you took a lot of time to get to know them and understand what they need. This is what's hysterical about this, okay? My gals that sell makeup, they went from selling $30 in product to one person to selling $100 to $150 in product. At the end of it, the people were saying, thank you so much for helping me get the perfect products for me. They didn't say, oh my gosh, I can't believe you just got me to spend $150. They said, thank you so much for helping me figure out what I need most. Now, how would that be? To increase the number of people you sell to and increase how much you sell per person, and they're thanking you for their help, okay? I tell you, this is what happens to Jeanette all the time because she takes a lot of time to really understand and get to know people, okay? She's amazingly good at that. And they thank her after, like you see it posted on Facebook. Faith just the other day. Thank you, Jeanette, for helping me get my energy up, okay? I have no idea how much money Faith spent, but that's not the point, okay? The point is you can get to know them really well and take really, really good care of them. So really, this isn't about plastering about Advocare on Facebook. Yes, do some of it. Do some success stories. No, you won't get a lot of interaction on those. It's kind of like just your advertisements, okay? Then when you ask these questions, you'll find out who's been kind of stalking you and is curious about what you do, okay? One reply, go to a private message, ask them more about their response, ask permission to tell them about the one product you see there might be a good fit for them, and ask permission to ask them a little bit more about their health and go into those 4 branches. Okay? From there, ask details in each one of those areas. Don't talk about product yet till you've gone through all 4 areas. Then you move into an optional close. Would you like to start with a couple of these products or this whole system, kit, program, whatever you want to call it? Okay? Can you see like how cool that is? Mm-hmm. It's amazing. Seriously. It is so much fun. It works. And people like you after, like way more than just you talked them into, you know, buying a box of Spark because you were excited about it. Okay? This isn't about your story at all. This is all about them. And you should see how much they like you because of it. It's really cool. Okay, Season, did you raise your hand or did you just happen to hit a button on the computer?
Raise my hand, but you bounced back and covered it.
Oh, I've covered it now? Sorry, when it shares screen, I only see 3 faces and I couldn't see yours. My bad, sorry. Okay, so tell me what your biggest aha takeaway from this is. What do you see that you can better take care of people?
I definitely think that some of how to behave, you know, on social media in the very beginning, I kind of get, but it's making those connections afterwards. Once you move into the private message, that original connection, and then moving into the larger areas, which is where my question was, but you answered all that. So just kind of continuing the conversation in a genuine way. So you don't actually have to go into like the hard kill, you know?
Yeah, no.
Because I don't like it when I don't feel like someone's being genuine with me. And so, of course, they're not going to either. So.
Very cool. Awesome. Very cool. Ashley, what was your takeaway?
Yeah, I would have to say along the lines of seasons to reply and then go into a private message and how, to interact with them better.
Awesome. Very cool. Ginger, what did you take away from it?
Mine was offering them either A, B, or C, and then all they have to post is, one little letter.
Yeah.
Instead of having a really long comment.
Cool. Awesome. Howard, how about you?
Well, if you can hear me.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
I don't get on Facebook a lot, but overall, everything that you covered, everything from the start, asking the questions, to, because I did, we talked about asking that first question. I got 1 or 2 responses, and that was about it. And then I reposted that question this morning. I had 9 more responses this morning that are something I can follow up on. So this gives me a lot of direction and a way to approach it properly, which is great. It's a better way of looking at it rather than vomiting on somebody.
Yeah. Well, and one thing I can tell you to tie into what Jeanette said at the very beginning, when you're getting into a conversation and you can see they're engaged, okay, there's a lot of people that are 35 and under that they seriously don't pick up, they do not use their phone as a phone, okay? And it's just the way it is, okay? And you have to learn to kind of accept that and figure out how to work around it. But when they get going and they're engaged and you have some ideas for them, like, you're going to talk about one of the programs, that's when you can say, you know what, this will just take me 5 minutes to explain it to you if I could just get on the phone with you real quick. That's how you get on the phone with them, okay? Some people that, I'm sorry, but if you're over 40, 50, they're more likely to get on the phone with you because that's what they're used to doing. 35 and under aren't, okay? That's how they communicate. And don't even get me started how messed up we are, but that's how you sell now, okay? Like, you have to deal with it. So, you can either just sell to everybody in one generation or you can figure out how to talk to all of them, okay? But that's how you get on the phone is after they've gotten excited and they see there's some like really cool ideas you have for them, then they will talk to you on the phone much more likely, okay? But don't try to do it at the very beginning. They need to see why it's worth talking to you, okay? Does that make sense?
Yep.
So you can get them on the phone that way. Did you have another question, comment, thought, Miss Season? I was going to call you Summer. Okay. And was it Kenzie? Kelsey, sorry, Kelsey. I'm going to unmute you. What was your takeaway? Do you have a microphone, hun? Or you can type down below, or you can just be quiet. Either way is fine. Oh, here we go.
Awesome.
Mike, no problem. My takeaway was making the connections. Awesome. Very cool. Do you do much on Facebook with your business, Kelsey? Wait for her to respond down here. Just getting started learning how to get myself out there. Very cool. Seriously, my friends, like Jeanette is the pro at networking. She's the pro at one-on-ones, okay? And I love that, but it takes time. And on Facebook, you can throw this out to 1,000 people and see who is willing to talk to you, okay? Both things are important, but I'm telling you, you're going to miss out on people if you're not using social media and putting those questions out there. Now, I have a whole other thing. You can just ask fun questions. When it snows, are you more likely to stay in and be by the fire, go out and snowshoe, or wish you were on a beach? Like, there's other questions just to get people more engaged. One of the things that's really important to know about Facebook is the more people comment on any post you put, any post, okay? You can put, what do you think the score of the Seahawks game is going to be this Sunday? Like anything that you get lots of comments on, it will tell Facebook to share the rest of your stuff more, okay? So you don't every day be posting a question about health or, fitness or that kind of thing. You maybe do it about every other day, But in between, on the opposite days, you do something where you'll get a lot of funny comments, okay? So there's a couple of different things that I have to offer that help you with this. I do have a little thing. It's fun. So for every month, I have a thing where you can sign up, and I'll send you 140 questions for that month, okay? And there's things on health and fitness and wellness, and then there's things on like cleaning and makeup. Like you won't use all 140 of them. There's only 30 days in a month. And then there's always 20 that are seasonal. So we would talk about hockey and football and snow, and I don't know, there's all sorts of questions in there, okay? They change on the 5th. So it's $7 a month, and you get a $20, you sign up for $20, and it gives you 2 videos. It shows you about the question tree, and it shows you how to, the question tree, and a little bit about texting and messaging, okay? So it's 2 really cool videos that help you figure out how to turn those conversations into leads and getting them into a sell, okay? So that's one thing that you can do that's just really simple and inexpensive. I also do coaching, okay? Because we're just talking about one little piece here. We're not talking about recruiting, and we're not talking about repeat sales. There's all sorts of other things. I do stuff on booths and expos. So I have a whole really cool coaching program, because I'll have, I have lots of clients, and they'll get a conversation going, and they'll message me, and they go, okay, they said this, now what do I say next? Some people really like having me there to like go back and forth. And Ashley and I have done this some. She's, been messaging people, and she'll message me and go, okay, now where should I go next? So some people like having me there and that extra help. And that seems to go a long ways to get you learning how to do this faster. And I have some really cool programs that they're $100 a month. You get tons of videos. You get videos on goal setting. I have really cool goal setting techniques. You get videos on sales and recruiting and texting and messaging and booths and expos. And I'm forgetting a category. Did I say recruiting? I have really cool things for recruiting. And we can really help you build your business really fast. And if you sign up before the end of the year, tomorrow night, you get $25 off your first month. And then you also get that other program I was telling you about. You get 6 months of that for free. So that's $62 value right there. So that's some fun things I have going before the end of the year. You can always sign up on January 1st or after that too. You don't get the $25 off, but you do get the questions for 6 months, if that's something that you want. So you should be getting an email. Hopefully it's worked this time. I got to go look and see if it did. If not, I will get that pushed out to you. And it'll have all the details on that, and it will have the websites where you go to sign up. You can always just message me and ask me about it and see if you think this is something that you want to do. And we can brainstorm about what your goals are for your business and if this makes sense for you. So Ashley, she did some training with me for several months. Ashley, what did you get out of it? What did you like about the coaching?
Oh my goodness. Definitely got me over my fear of getting on the phone and initiating a conversation with people and knowing how to kind of steer the conversation better and be better friends, honestly, with folks. So yeah, it was great.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you. And I've been working with Jeanette for a while, so I don't know if you have anything you want to share with them or how you feel like it's been beneficial.
Well, I think what I find with having Michelle is at the level that I am in our Advocare business, there are not really any coaches that can understand where I'm at, and so having Michelle as a sounding board and to help me with my personal goals. I could do my goals by myself, but
yeah, she could.
Or I could do it with Bob. But you know what? Just having somebody else that is an outsider looking in, and somebody encourage me, and somebody say, "Hey, did you get your vision board done?" So I can, okay, here you go. So
Yay!
I can.
You're working on it.
Did you?
Oh!
My 2016 vision board.
Yeah.
So once I have someone, that I know is rooting for me, is in my corner, celebrating with me, that just really helps me stay accountable. It's not that I don't have people, it's just that I choose to have Michelle help me with that, and it's been really, really helpful. And then she, if I have things that I'm, well, I don't want to use this word struggling with, but things that just aren't going the way I'd hope they would go, then I have someone else from the outside that I can visit with and offer me suggestions that maybe I don't see, because two minds are better than one, seriously. And so it's just really helpful. And then, she's like, I can't help everyone, but she can help. She's an extension of me. So in regards to getting things going in your AdvoCare business, just those simple things. How do I talk to people? How do I meet new people, cold market? That's a big one. How do I meet people cold market? How do I talk to people how do I do a three-way phone call? I mean, how would I get somebody into that conversation? She knows how to help you with all of those things too. And so, and then she does mastermind groups, and she does groups with other people too, just in other companies, but also if you have a little group of your own with AdvoCare, she can do your own little mastermind AdvoCare groups for mid-level pins. So there's just a lot of things that she can do. Tell her, brainstorm with her.
What is
Season?
What's mastermind groups?
Actually, all the mastermind group is just that there's a small group of people that have similar goals or in a similar place in their business you are. So you have all the videos, and then once a week you get an hour with me in a small group, and you come and you go, okay, this person's sitting on the fence and I know they're right there. What else can I ask them to get off? Or I'm doing this booth this weekend. What should I do for a drawing slip? Or I have this person and they're so close to becoming an advisor. What can I do to help them get over that hump? Like, we just talk about whatever it is you're working on that week and your goals, and we brainstorm together. And it's really cool because sometimes you'll pick up something you didn't even think about asking when I'm talking to another client. It's really funny. You'll be like, oh, or sometimes if I'm not talking right to you, you seem to be a little less nervous. And then you hear what I'm saying to other people. It's really funny. So it's really, it's fun, huh, Ashley? To learn from what other people are going through. And sometimes you go, oh, look, I have that strength. That's not an issue for me. I don't feel so bad. Or sometimes you go, oh, look, I could use that information too. So it's funny. It's really supportive. And there's a Facebook group just for my clients. They're all really supportive of each other. But it's a lot of fun. And it's really like, you get a couple new distributors or one advisor, it's paid for itself so fast. It makes a huge difference. Like, the leaps you can make with some coaching is just amazing. I've seen really cool things in a short amount of time. So it's a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Yep. Okay.
Michelle,
Yes.
can you tell everyone how to share this recording today? Because I know there's people that we all know that we would like to have this recording.
Yes. So, okay, I'm going to stop the recording right now.